And this is This Week in Car Audio. Tune in. This Week in Car Audio. Tune in. What we talking about bass, talking about chips, talking about rings, you ain't got them, zip your lip. You got a problem you haven't found, check your grounds. The show about to start. Tune in. This Week in Car Audio. Yeah. Tune in. This Week in Car Audio.
Welcome to This Week in Car Audio with your host, the Judge, Doug Stockton, co-hosted by internet superstar sensation world traveler, Mr. Jeffrey Fernandez. What's up, Jeff?
Nothing much, doing okay. I'm actually coming live to you guys from the Sacramento International Airport, where I'm awaiting my flight in about 4 hours.
Okay, that's good. I am trying to figure out how to share this again because of the stupid things. Anyway, so how was your time here in California?
It was good. First day, Saturday, was a little wet, to say the least.
Yeah.
They weren't lying when they said it was going to be nonstop rain all day. That's what it seemed like anyway. But I mean, it didn't hinder the competitors. They were, you know, coming up to the lanes and enjoying themselves. So it was a good scene. Sunday, of course, it was sunny and bright, and it's really nice. I actually got a chance to check out Autorama. I think I did once, like years and years ago, but this year I got a chance to check out a couple of the buildings and check out the nice cars and stuff like that. So
Caught
I
some Steve
thoroughly enjoyed
Foos.
myself.
Or not Steve Foos. Chip
Chip.
Foos.
Yeah, but I didn't want to get in line and get an autograph, and take a picture. Just
All
took
right.
it in from afar.
I am trying to set up so I can see you guys doing the chat. I haven't seen anything yet. There we go. So good there. That's on me trying to get this thing all set up.
Yeah, I won't be
There we
able
go.
to see comments as well because I'm on.
There we
mobile.
go. I'm starting to see
Okay,
some
there
chat
we go.
now. Starting to populate. And then let's see, I need to get my YouTube chat set up. I see Woody's over on YouTube. Tristan's over. Steve is testing. Joel's on there. So, yeah, so we're starting to see some people on there. Let me pop out chat. Bam. There, now I can see everything. And then, bam. There we go. I got this. Man, the things I got to do. There's Joel going on right there. Hey, how's it going, Joel? So one thing we did at this event this weekend was we made it kind of like a memorial for Brian Nyman a little bit, as far as we were. Oh yeah, there they go. They're starting to populate now. Great score by David Wayne Hunt. Looking forward to seeing your progress this year. Sam Dunn says congratulations. Woody says, yeah, the rain was bad on Saturday, but Sunday was beautiful. He ain't wrong. So Brian Nyman, we got a bunch of trophies from Brian's parents and then we handed those out on Autorama on Sunday along with a picture of Brian Nyman. Called it Brian Nyman Memorial Trophies. So we were giving those out to people on Sunday, so that was awesome. Had some really good pictures from you, Jeff, on people gathering around and, kind of showing a little respect to what they wanted. A lot of people collecting trophies and didn't remove the name tags off them or nothing, and just we didn't even remove the dust on them. And we didn't. And people just putting the appropriate tag for the show, and we're taking those trophies away. Whatever.
Yeah, I didn't realize when you said his trophies because there was one I saw there from World Finals that was like 5.5, 6 feet tall, and I was
Yep.
like, wow, somebody's gonna be really lucky getting that trophy.
Yep. So I mean, we it was literally his World Finals trophies,
Mhm.
DB drag trophies, whatever. Like I said, we just gave out some really cool stuff, memorabilia for Brian Nyman. Speaking of which is May 19th, for you guys if you didn't catch it. Let me give the exact information. Oops,
18.
wrong pit. Uh, oh, there we go. May 19th, which is Sunday, from
Oh,
10
sorry.
a.m. to 3 p.m. at Mello's Auto Repair. Celebration of life for Brian Nyman. I will have
That's
my
right.
meter there and my trailer, but we're not doing a competition. We're not even pulling the meters out. It's just a celebration of Brian Nyman. The community really backs the people that are part of it and whatnot, and their families. And speaking of which, our guest, Steve Delos Santos. What's going on, Steve?
Howdy, howdy, gentlemen.
We're good. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you're on here for? Oh, wait, real quick, want to hit our sponsors. Our sponsors are eBox, um, Crossfire Car Audio, Voodoo Customs, and a brand new sponsor, Badass Sounds by Steve, Mr. Steve De Los Santos, right here on there right now. A new sponsor of the program. So, guys, thank you for sponsoring. If you get an opportunity to support somebody who supports the things that you guys like to see and partake in. Anyway, so those are our sponsors for today's event. One of them being Mr. Steve De Los Santos. What's up, Mr. Steve?
Hey.
Gentlemen.
So tell us a little bit about what you got coming up this next weekend, right? No, the
2
weekend
weeks from
after.
now.
Yes, 2 weeks from
Yeah.
this weekend. Yeah.
So we are doing a second annual memorial show for my son.
Hmm.
It was something I came up with last year to it's like we talked about before, this is therapy.
Uh huh.
You know, they say when you stop talking about people, you forget them. So if I start doing a memorial show, I talk about him, people ask questions and it just snowballs from there and we just try to keep it moving.
Yep. As a matter of fact, if you guys haven't seen Steve's truck, it's got a memorial. Is that so? Is that a wrap or is that actually painted on there?
No, it's a wrap.
Okay. So it's a wrap, so it can be refreshed fairly easy.
Yes. Yes.
So, but yeah, so he's got a picture of his kid. So since this is all about him and his and your relationship and whatnot, why don't you tell us a little bit about him?
Oh, my son.
Yes,
Whew,
sir.
man, it's one of those tough questions of where do you start? A fine young man,
Mm-hmm.
you know, grew up with discipline, talk about him as much as I can. Uh, Played football in high school, joined the Marine Corps, and just life.
Uh-huh.
The man he was becoming
Yep.
was just phenomenal to watch until until it stopped. So
Yeah.
it was just it was hard. It's still hard, but
Right.
we're learning to live with it. But as far as my son, I mean, he's just I got stories and stories and stories and stories upon more stories, but they're all good. You know, some life lessons growing up, having to teach him
Mm-hmm.
about hanging out with the wrong crowd and stuff like that. But other than that, fine young man, very, very, very respectful. I know I'm his father, and I make it sound like he was the best kid in the world, but every parent does that with their kids.
Right.
But if you would have met my son, you would have said, "Wow, this pretty good young man." So yeah, and
Uh,
that's what I'm trying to do is just, like I said, just keep his memory alive.
that's a great goal. Um, Joel posted in here, "Happy birthday, Julio." So that's Team Send It Chivo for you guys that don't know who Julio is. And he says thanks. So I guess it must have been his birthday. Unlike Dave Bradshaw's this weekend, right? So, If you guys didn't see that video, check out Jeffrey's feed. We were at Applebee's, and they told everybody that was Dave Bradshaw's birthday. And
I caught a piece of that. I caught a little piece of that.
so that was all good. So is this particular date any significance for in May, or
Well-
it just happened to work for scheduling reasons?
Well, his birthday is May 6th,
Okay.
which is today.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
So what I did last year was I planned it after his birthday, which also was Mother's Day weekend.
Right, and that's would
So-
be the same again this year.
So
Right.
I ended up moving it another week because a lot of
Okay.
people couldn't come because it's Mother's Day weekend. Mothers don't want to spend their time at a show. So
What?
no.
so we moved it down to the 18th. So hopefully we'll get more competitors, more spectators. That's basically what I'm shooting for is the
Mhm.
spectators. That's
Right.
who I want to come
So
because they are the ones that come, see what goes on, tell their girlfriends, their wives, I want something like that.
oh,
And it just keeps
absolutely.
moving. So
Yeah.
Absolutely. So what who's going to be at the show? Is it just DB Drag? Is it DB Drag multi
Oh.
organization? What's going on?
it's multi-org. Jeffrey's a little stressed for the logistics of it, but we've
A little
got
bit.
we've got DB Drag, we've got T.W.I.C.A, we've got Base Wars, and we just locked in with Iasca. So we got 4 orgs coming out.
All right. And that's May 18th out there at Crossfire. Jeffrey's going to be
Yes.
back home eventually and and do that. We had the multi-org organization. Even in the rain, I think we gated around 100 cars. So that was really cool. Participate in Iasca, DB Drag, and USAC. So that was really cool for us. Got to hand out a lot of trophies with Brian's picture on it and stuff. So I really appreciated that. So are you the one that's doing the gold, silver, bronze trophy, Steve?
No,
or-
we're not doing that. No.
Oh.
We're not, no.
What are you guys
Uh-oh.
doing?
That was the last show.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the last show. Now the trophies that Jeffrey did last year, I really, really love those trophies. Maybe we can get something very similar to them.
You're running out of time, Jeff.
Yeah, they were blue in color, and they had the picture of my son, the flyer
Okay.
that we had. So, yeah, that worked out great.
Yeah, we had Celeste make up the flyer, and then we were able to get it on the trophies, and it was really cool.
All right.
Yeah,
But I think this year the trophies are going to be red.
that's cool.
Some Marine Corps colors, huh? Red and gold.
Red and blue.
Ah,
Yeah.
there we go.
So, but yeah, that's awesome. What are your expectations for the show, Steve? Attendance wise, that kind of stuff.
My expectations for the show, I would have to say, with the 4 orgs coming out, hopefully there will be some cross competing.
There
some
typically
people
is.
Yeah, people mixing and matching and just I want spectators.
Mhm.
The people that come out. I know one podcast you guys had, there was a debate on competitors and demo guys.
Right.
Well, the
Right.
demo guys like to be loud, and I'm working on something to where maybe I can call out the demo guys. Don't just sit in the parking lot and play your music. Let's put them in the lanes and let's everybody have fun. Try to do something similar to a death match.
Okay. Well, I mean, seriously, the Cyclone. We actually had a guy set a world record for Cyclone this weekend. He beat it by 6.3 dB.
Yeah,
So I
I
mean,
was
he
watching that.
destroyed the Cyclone record, and
And that was with his system quitting.
and that he
3/4
quit
of the way
7
through.
or 8 seconds left in
Yeah.
the run.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
his average could have stayed up there if he'd have just
Oh,
kept
yeah.
going. But
He
Yeah,
could have
that
hit
was all-
60 instead of 56.8 or whatever it was.
yeah,
Yeah, he started off in the 60s, and I was like,
Yeah.
what? This is like a non-SUV wall vehicle, hitting
I think it was like a
60s.
Chrysler 300 or something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Is that what
Yeah.
it was?
That's
Uh,
what it looked like from the
Okay.
video
Yeah.
I caught.
I don't disagree with you, but as I tell everybody, including people at the shows and whatnot, I never look at anybody's information because anything about their vehicles other than what I need to for judging. That way, I can never be accused of telling somebody's secret. I couldn't even. I don't like that. I don't even know what car it was. Right? I knew it had a wall, and the wall wasn't like right behind the seat. It was back some a little bit. But that's I couldn't even tell you what subwoofers he ran. He had a green shirt on, so he was part of a team with green shirts. So I'm getting. Oh, he's Lord of Bass, right?
Yeah.
Lord of Base.
Lord of Bass. So
Yeah.
Lord of Bass is they have a brand, so that's part what he was part of. All right, real quick, Joel. Hello, Doug and Jeff. If there's a chance, please include Pankadal rules in this podcast. A lot of people asking me inquiries about the rules. Jeffrey, you want to tell them real quick about how the Pankadal? I mean, you obviously saw it at the Las Vegas Showdown, and then you saw it again at the Autorama. Give somebody a quick rundown so that.
Yeah, so essentially, we've all seen stunt walls, speakers that are, coming out of the back of the vehicle. So for Pankadao, we get a sensor, the sensor X, which is able to measure several more frequencies than the average
From 20 to
sensor.
20K.
Yes, yes. So we put it about 3 feet away from the furthest part of the vehicle, which
Exactly
in
3 feet.
Yes. So which in Joel's case was his hatch, his back hatch,
Mhm.
which I'm pretty sure he wishes he didn't have because he'd be able to move the sensor a lot closer. But so it's 3 feet, I should say, 3 feet away from the furthest most part of the vehicle. And I believe in it could be the height could be,
It
I
has to
think,
be
a
three
minimum,
feet or above.
right? But for Joe's case, he's measured it at exactly 3 feet, and it's
Most
worked out best for
advantageous.
him.
Yes.
Yeah, advantageous. And forgive me, I don't have my rule book with me. I'm in transit right now, but so the rules or the length of the run is it 30 seconds?
30 seconds.
30 seconds,
And
and it's an average,
of all frequencies from 20
right?
to 20,000 hertz, and it
Hmm.
holds the peak for each one of those frequencies. So if you hit 132 at say 20 hertz, and then you hit 132.6 during some, it'll hold the 132.6. And what it does is adds all the peak SPLs together, and then divide them by the whatever number that is for all the frequencies, and that's how you get your total score.
Which is why you do need to have the sensor X um,
Correct.
to do Pankadao.
It won't even allow you to run it unless you have a Sensor X
Exactly.
connected,
Yeah.
which we found out this weekend 100%.
So hopefully we'll see some more shows. I saw a post from Chris Gregory going out to his competitors asking if they'd be interested in something like this, and it showed
Oh,
Joe's video from this past weekend. So
awesome. I mean,
I'm sure Joe will be happy.
stunt walls, as we mentioned at the show, some people find them annoying, but they do have a place in that they do draw people to them, for sure. Joel says they are also asking the port measurements of the box. I really can't answer that question. He isn't wrong. I mean, like I said, that's his thing, and so I couldn't even tell you. It's a port about this big. It's in the middle. It's got some subwoofers, and there's flags that wave in the subwoofer frequencies on the back of his car. That much I could tell you. You can watch the video and get more information about his run than you could by asking me. Is all I would say.
Yeah,
So
Pankadao is actually listed as a format that's going to be available for the show on the 18th. So
okay, cool. That's another one. So as Steve said, if you want to sit there and pound in the parking lot, you got an opportunity to. If you have a stunt wall, you can do Pankadao. If you don't have a stunt wall, you can do Cyclone.
yeah,
Cyclone's 60-second average. You got, and you can pick any music you want. The lower, um, the lower frequency you play, the higher bonus points that you get.
bonus points. Yeah.
So,
But I think Steve was wanting to do something additional, kind of
oh,
like a
okay.
deathmatch he was saying. So
So do you
Do
have
you want to
that
go?
put together, or do
I'm
you
working
make?
on it. I'm working on it.
Okay.
I don't want to say anything and then it not go through and stuff like that. I don't want to get everybody's hopes up, but
Uh-huh.
I would really like to see the demo guys, the guys that just base all day long,
Mhm.
come up to the lanes and do cyclone. You only have to do it for a minute. You
Yeah.
know, you don't have to take the trophy. Just see what you're doing. Just
Yep.
have fun.
Yeah. Mhm.
Um.
Where's the mute button at?
um. So, did your son compete in car audio or have a
No,
passion for it or anything?
he liked having the bass in the vehicle,
Hmm.
but he wasn't like extreme for it. You know,
Okay.
it's like, hey, Dad, let's do something for my car, and you know, just give me a little bit more bass.
Hmm.
So pretty much all the equipment that was in his car is now a garage setup in my shop, or yeah,
Okay.
it's a garage setup in the shop. So
Okay.
his radio, his amp, his subs, all that stuff. So
Okay. And I will. So, as we've discussed on this podcast multiple times, and I mean, I can't express to you guys how much I believe this, but I'm sure Steve could speak to it too, and that the community um, really rally behind people when they need help, and when they want to do something that's bigger than just the competition. Would you agree with that kind of stuff?
oh yes, yes, for sure. And it's like I was when I went up to talk to Jeffrey on Tuesday before he left out for Autorama. It's like I was telling him, I want to do everything I can to try to keep this show going every year. If
Hmm.
I have to sell all my equipment to do it, I'll do it because it's more than just a show for us. You
Hmm.
know, it's bigger than it's bigger than me. You know,
Right.
because uh, we're also supporting a cause out there called the Till Valhalla Project, and what that is we lose 22 of our servicemen and women to suicide a day. And this project, they sell T-shirts, bands, whatever they can sell, and they use that money for counseling and whatever support our servicemen and women need to help get through the tough times.
Yep.
So, and that's what I'm trying to get out there too. So
Hmm.
it's not only just a memorial show, but it's also a suicide awareness show. And
Okay.
if one person comes to the show and calls a number and it saves them, my job is done. You know,
Oh,
I'm just going to keep pushing for one at a time, you
uh,
know.
absolutely. Another one they do. Is it Wounded
Wounded
Warriors?
Warrior, yes.
And their big thing is I mean, they say it on all their paperwork and whatnot, is not all wounds are visible,
Right.
and they do a lot of prescribed mental health, and the big thing with them is they use people that are in the service to do the mentoring, because I do. So my family is, I bet you we're close to 98% service. Families tend to be that, right? They're service families or not service families. But my
Right.
particular family is, I bet you we're close to 98%. Girls, guys, cousins, aunts, uncles, you name it. Everybody's in the service.
It's like
And
that on this side.
yeah, and they'll tell you it. If somebody's never been in the service, they can't understand what somebody was going through when they were in the service.
Right.
And so, yeah, having a mental health coach or a social
Just
worker or
somebody to
something.
talk to.
Yeah, well, but the people in the military, I found personally, they don't understand that, they don't get if somebody else just wants to listen to them. It has to be somebody that was in the service.
Right,
Um,
right. Yeah, that's
you
one of
know.
the main things too is, you know, if you got somebody that was in the service
Uh-huh.
and they're talking to what we call a civilian,
Mhm.
they don't understand the structure and the mental strain that you're under
Yep.
being in the service.
Mhm.
And they just willy-nilly say what they want to say, and it hits somebody in the service differently than it would somebody, you know, just a regular person. So,
Yep.
yeah, it's tough.
Were
It's
you in the
tough.
service yourself?
Yes.
What did
Yeah,
you serve?
Marine Corps.
Marine Corps
Uh,
also.
yeah, back in '89 is when I joined.
Okay.
My daughter served Marine Corps, and my son, and we all share a tattoo uh, that signifies because we wanted to get a tattoo all
Mhm.
three of us could have,
Uh-huh.
and our tattoo says Semper Fi, and it
Right.
has our join date on it.
Always,
So,
Oh, that's
always
awesome.
faithful. That's Semper
yeah,
Fidelis.
yeah.
That's the Phi
So
short for Fidelis. Um,
yeah,
Christian Jensen says thank you to all that served. You know, what's the saying? All that serve. What? Some of us gave some of us gave all, or something. How's that one go?
yeah. It's been a
Yeah.
while.
So, but anyway, it is a big deal to families that are military minded. So,
Yeah, I was talking to a co-driver this evening, and
mhm,
I told him I was leaving early tonight to be on the podcast,
uh,
and I told him about the Till Valhalla project,
mhm.
and he didn't know anything about it. He's
I,
also ex Marine,
okay.
and but it you don't really know a lot of these groups that are out there
Uh huh.
unless it personally hits you,
Hmm.
because would I be a supporter of Till Valhalla if I didn't lose my son? Probably not. You know, I I, I mean that's just the truth.
Yep.
But now that I have lost my son and it hit us personally at home, I want to do everything I can.
Yep.
So part of it is the show.
Right.
If I can get 20 organizations to come out, I would, but we don't have the room for that yet.
I, I I have three uncles that are Uncle Gunny. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and,
yeah.
and that happens, right? You're military, and
Mhm.
I had I believe it was a cousin. One somebody that's related to me said, "Yeah, if I ever make master sergeant, I'm tattooing that shit right on my ass, all the chevrons and everything."
That's a pretty big tattoo,
Yep, a lot of chevrons there.
right? Yeah,
So, but yeah, that's like I said, military-minded families have their own issues. You are wives. I mean, the amount of the stress on a wife is unbelievable. Some anybody at home with a military family, a member abroad, is it's stressful as a whole. You turn on the
Right.
news every day, going, okay, don't be on the news, right? And that's all you're praying for every day. Just
Mhm.
where my kids at, don't be on the news. Where my
right.
uncle's at, don't be on the news. Where my dad's at, don't be on the news. So, yep. I called up right after 9/11. Or no, sorry, not 9/11. The first Gulf War. So it would have been 91 ish.
90, 91.
Yep. So I called up, said, "Hey, come get me." And they didn't come get me for 8 months. And then they called me up after 8 months. It was over at that point because it was fairly quick. And my wife says, "You ain't joined the military," because my wife's a non-military family, right? Uh,
Yeah,
Oh,
my
okay.
wife automatically thinks if you join the military, you die. I'm like, that's
yeah.
not how it works.
Yeah, that's not how it works.
Mo- Most people in the military have non-combative roles. Now, Marine Corps is a little different, absolutely, because you're a soldier first, and then you're whatever MOS you are, but you're
Right,
you're absolutely a soldier first.
right. I was
Um,
over in the Gulf War myself, so
oh, were you?
yeah, I
Uh,
was there.
okay.
Yeah,
I plan on going to the military since I can remember. I mean, like I said, my whole family, my uncles, my aunts, my cousins, everybody's military. Um, and I we used to play military,
yeah,
and we did.
Uh-huh.
That was just the way of life because that's my family's background, right? Um, and I went and took the ASVAB. I scored above 99 percentile. And once I took the test, I had them continually coming to me with, "You could literally write your ticket. What do you want to do?" I'm like,
yeah,
let me get through high school first, because you could
yeah,
take it when you're a sophomore, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
Oh, wow.
so I took it my sophomore year, and then I repeated as a junior, and I still scored above. They didn't tell me; they just said I was above 99 percentile. So they just So they came at me again in my junior year and said, "You can write your ticket." And then I called them, and then they never called me back. But
Oh,
I
wow.
was 100% Marine Corps bound. I have one cousin that's in the Air Force. I have a lot of cousins in the Navy, and my brother went Navy. My dad and I would say almost all of my uncles and aunts were Marine Corps. And now Marine Corps for a girl when my aunts were in it was a different thing. They weren't. It wasn't. What do they call that? Co-gendered or whatever they call it nowadays. Um,
Hmm.
the men trained with the men. The women trained with the women. And I saw some video now that the men and women are training together in boot
That's something
camp.
new because even at Paris Island, it's still separate over there.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or at least when my daughter was there,
Okay.
it was separate. They weren't training together unless they were in the same squad as far as out of boot camp.
Okay. That may have been. I just saw some video, and they were with the pugil sticks, and they had this, 5 foot nothing girl, 104 pounds, going against this 6'3" guy that's lived to be a Marine for his entire life.
Yeah.
And dude, he destroyed her. And I was just like, I'm not trying to get political, and I'm not trying to be. I am one person that's definitely not politically correct, but there is not a place in certain parts of combat for women. They do have a place in other places, but there's some places they shouldn't be.
Okay.
So, but
Maybe back to the show.
Yeah,
Anyway.
back to the show.
Steve, you had mentioned a few extras you were going to
Oh,
do
yeah.
for the show. I think there was. Well, I'll let you talk about it.
yeah.
So we're gonna do. Last year we did a raffle, which is not gonna happen this year. We're gonna do giveaways. So the
Okay.
way the giveaways are gonna work is every class you enter, you're gonna get a ticket.
Okay.
So if you enter
Okay.
more than one class, you'll get 2 tickets, or so
5
forth
or
and so on.
Moses
And I'm gonna
Martinez 22. Oh.
What?
Yeah, and I'm gonna do that with all the orgs. I'm not just gonna do it with just one.
Okay.
And plus, I'm also gonna walk around and hand out tickets. And you have to be present to win. So if you leave early and you get called, you get, it keeps moving on to
Bupkis.
somebody else. Yeah, I've got a few prizes I'm working on to give away, mostly wash buckets. I've got a set of the Crossfire SQ component sets that I'm going to give away. Working on Roger, trying to give him a massage to get me some shirts and hats. But yeah, just simple things. We're also doing a paleta cart. I don't know if you know what that is, Doug. It's
No.
Mexican ice cream. The little guy that runs around with the cart
Oh, yeah.
with the
The
bells.
cart.
And puts
Yeah.
tahine on everything?
Yeah, so we're not doing that crazy, but
All right.
we're getting a paleta cart, and we're going to be giving away the paletas
Okay.
to till we run out. So
For anybody that's never had the paleta ice cream, it's really creamy. It's like a cross between a popsicle and a creamsicle.
right.
Is the best way. It's like a heavy milk ice cream. That's probably the best.
And it's made with real fruit.
Yeah, and then,
That's
and
the
so
other
it's got a
thing.
texture to it too.
Right.
And it's definitely doesn't taste like ice cream. It's got a unique taste, but it's
really good.
definitely good.
It's really good.
Real popular out here. Very, very popular here.
They're
in California.
popular out here too. They got the guy running around with the little
Ding,
jingly
ding,
bells.
ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
Paleta.
Paleta.
Yeah. So we're also doing a thanks to Ben Nash with Nash Signs and Designs. He helped me lock down a food truck, which is barbecue.
Okay.
My sister-in-law and
Tri-tip?
her mother are also
Or
coming out
brisket?
to do food, and then I just locked in a snow cone shaved ice truck. So
Hey,
shaved ice coming out too.
if you can find a Dole Whip guy out your way, I don't know if you've ever had Dole Whip, but it is about as close as you're ever gonna get to paletas.
Oh, really?
Oh,
I'm gonna
dude,
have to look that up.
Dole Whip's pretty damn good.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah,
But,
so If you can
That
find the
that
dude.
yeah, that's pretty much what I want to do. I'd like for it to keep growing
Mm-hmm.
and to, like I said, if I got to sell my equipment in my truck to keep this show going, I'm down for it. The other thing about my show is I personally will not compete at my show
Okay.
unless I'm in some kind of points race or something. I personally will not bring the Blazer into the lanes. But we have somebody flying out that will be
Oh, that's
using
right.
my Blazer to do top dog and base race.
I know who it is. And you got nobody's even told me, and I'll tell you who it is.
Who is it?
It ain't Moses. It's
No,
Pop
it's not
Tart.
Moses.
It's
Uh,
got to be Pop Tart.
mm,
Pop Tart does
No,
that crap. It's not Pop
same group
Tart.
of guys. No, that same area,
Oh,
I believe.
Chris Gregory.
no,
Huh. All right.
no. It's not
Well,
Chris
we'll see.
Gregory. Yeah, you'll see.
I just
So
know Pop Tart does fly out for stuff like that.
I know on one of the posts that somebody shared, he popped in saying that he's going to get a flight to come down
Uh huh.
and compete
Mhm.
if somebody has a vehicle to loan him. And people were calling me up saying, "Hey man, should I do this? Should I do that?" And I just messaged him and said, "Look, you can use my Blazer."
Oh,
So
That's
okay.
cool.
yeah, so that's what we're going to do.
Okay.
So this
It's a
weekend,
guy that competed at finals, and I think he wants a specific rematch with a
yeah,
specific competitor
Maybe
who
Eric.
competes in Texas. I think so, yeah. So he
yeah,
wants this grudge match
All
with
right.
Eric. So, but it's
yeah. So
cool.
we're going to
And the
do
more
some.
the merrier. If we can get
That's
a lot
right.
more people to come out and fly, and you can, let people borrow each other's cars and
And I
stuff
don't have a
like that.
problem with that. I don't have
Yeah.
a problem, lending my vehicle out if somebody wants to compete with it. More the merrier.
Uh,
Come out and have fun.
Oh
That's what it's
yeah.
about. That's what I want.
so Jeffrey, what is the likelihood of this show potentially outgrowing the Crossfire parking lot? I've never been to
Wow.
Crossfire, so
Hmm.
I mean, is
This
that a
show.
possibility
Yeah.
or?
It's at an industrial area,
Uh huh.
so you figure like warehouses,
Mm-hmm.
offices. Um, I kind of looked at it back when Sky High first had their barbecues. I know they outgrew their area where they ended up going down the whole street, and now that they're in their new location, they're just huge. So I kind of see it being that way, where it can get um, outgrown. But if that happens, you're doing something right
Yeah.
because and we've got like several warehouses behind us as well. So
Mm-hmm.
I know Steve had expressed interest, and maybe we can get those guys on board and stuff like that because they have a lot more room. So
Yeah.
All right. Question I also have. Well, right here, Eric Hansen, one of our sponsors, eBox, right on the screen right now, says the weather looks to be great for the show. 86 is the high, partially cloudy. So
wait, that from now to the 18th, you can see that far in
that's
advance.
what
Yeah.
he
That's
said.
no.
Wow.
He's special that way.
That's right. He does share with me, like, hey, take a look at these clouds. They're so and so clouds. I'm like,
Oh, he's a
what?
meteorologist, huh?
I think so. Yeah, I think he might give Stolman a run for his money. Justin Stolman a run for his money.
Yes. He says, yes, I can see that far into the future.
Uh-oh.
He needs to make some
But
money at the racetrack then.
yeah, or maybe you can tell us who's going to win the grudge match on the 18th,
Yeah,
right?
he says he's a storm chaser. Okay, since you can see
uh,
Eric, yeah, who's going to win the grudge match?
Not Eric.
Not Eric. Whoa!
Hey,
Wow!
I I like Eric a lot, but this guy's flying in for a reason.
Woo!
So,
Yep, Eric Hansen with the me. I'm doing it.
so
uh,
we're not going to get started on that one. How I feel about that.
So, hey, all I'm going to say about grudge matches and whatnot. So, Jeffrey personally observed a little beat the boss this weekend. How did it work
yeah.
out for my opponents, Jeff?
Not too good. Not too good, man. I feel, kind of afraid if I hear beat the boss, and getting called out, and I'm like, oh man. So I don't know. I think we instilled some fear into. I think somebody didn't do it right in the 20s, but somebody in the 30s ended up taking your offer on it. So
Yeah. Well, I had one person do it in the 30s, and then one person did it in the 29 and 30, or the 30. Oh,
on
30s
Saturday,
both
right?
days. Yeah, I got
Oh,
30s
okay,
both
yeah,
days,
yeah,
and
yeah.
my score on both days was 9.9 in a
That,
vehicle I've
that,
never been before in my life.
and that's where I want to get with the Blazers. So after finals this past year, I completely gutted it.
Okay.
It is
Ah,
now going back to a demo vehicle,
Uh huh.
okay.
and I want to enter 5 classes this time instead of just 2. So I'm
The
coming.
musical classes,
Yeah, the
right?
musical classes.
We
Nice.
did see that Nick Ball, his car was there at Autorama, the red truck. Dude, that thing was
Oh, okay.
nasty musical. He was over doing Iasca. I asked about him running DB Drag, and the answer was, my system only lasts for one run. So,
Oh.
but it was loud. He demolished the record of whatever class he
Was
was
it
doing.
Nick? I know Craig. I forgot his name. Craig Ball.
Oh,
Craig
is it
Ball
Craig
was
Ball? I
there.
thought it was Nick
I
Ball.
think so.
Oh yeah, we had Nick Stone. It is Craig Ball. Rosa says Craig Ball.
Yeah,
That's what his
Craig
name
Ball.
is.
Yeah.
Yep. Shout out to Rory for letting me use his car. Oh, that's right. So Rory let Rosa use his car, and she tried it out, and she actually tied in the first round, and then had a rerun and didn't tie. But she was super nervous. She's sitting there. So I got it. She was having a good time. Yeah, because what happened was Moses' system he put together did not perform as well as he wanted it to, and trying to make it perform better, it went kaplooey.
Oh
So,
wow.
so Moses was not super happy. He didn't even make it Sunday because he was so not very happy with the results of what happened on
Mm,
Saturday.
Mm.
So,
getting there.
yeah. So you guys, oh, Rosa says, um, I tied 3 times, sir, and then lost. I'm not saying she's wrong. Like I said, I don't pay that much attention that I have that information. Let's see. But he's up and running now. Oh, so Moses already has his system up and running. But he definitely was not happy. He's going to be at the Jay's Alarm Show this coming weekend. We're starting our series. We got freaking so many shows. For people that don't know, we're going to do Reno on the 18th. That's a Saturday, so we'll be in Reno on Saturday the 18th, and then Sunday we'll be obviously at the Nyman Memorial. They're also having a show down in Bakersfield on the 18th, so those guys are going to be hard pressed to make it up to the Nyman Memorial, but I'm sure Moses is either going to go to Reno or he's going to go to those. Joel types in, Rosa, try my new Corolla for Pankadao. He did have that at
Oh.
one show. So, our Jeff, you think you're going to have any Pankadao over there in Dallas
I'm not sure, but
or
there is
Irving?
this. I might have to look at the rules, but there's a local competitor there, Nathan Milliard, DD Tank.
Uh huh.
I think he's got a side by side that he just did not too long ago.
Oh,
I don't know if you guys
look
get a
at
chance
Steve.
on Facebook.
Steve knows it.
Oh yeah, yeah. It it's made. I mean, I don't know if he built it for any specific reason other than the fact that he likes a bunch of speakers and bass and crazy builds. But I think that might do well in Pankadao. So I'm not sure if it's in the rules about side by sides, but it would definitely look to be that it would give anybody a run for their money because this
I
build
think
is
he posted it
huge.
did like a 56.
Wow.
Whew.
Wow.
So,
Pretty sick.
some vehicles don't do well in the Pankadao because it's very specific. You go from the trailing edge of the vehicle, which is the back. So if all their speakers are facing forward, obviously behind them isn't going to be that great. So that's the only thing. Rory says the Jetta got used by a few different people on Saturday. He's not wrong.
That's right. Yeah.
Not wrong. Joe had some issues with his system, so he was using Rory's, and so yeah, so yeah, Rory's system was putting in the work this weekend. That's for sure. Anyway, yeah, so uh, lots of people, hopefully, lots of you have vendors, obviously, with the food and whatnot, and then you have your giveaways that you're doing.
Yes.
You have 4 organizations. So it was USAC, IASCA, DB Drag, and what was the other one?
Base Wars.
Base Wars. Who's coming out and doing Base Wars for you?
Melissa Hall.
Okay. Is she a Dallas person?
She's a Texas person now. Yes.
Texas. Okay.
This will be the first time having Base Wars at Crossfire.
Okay.
We're really curious to see how it's ran, and I don't think I've seen an actual competition ran from start to finish from Base Wars, but yeah, it'll be really cool to get that org up there.
It's different.
Okay. Yeah, so Base Wars would be interesting. I was considering adding it to Autorama next year.
Oh, okay.
I invited them this year, but they already had a conflict. They had a Bakersfield show that same day or something. So, anyway, that's the reason we didn't have Base Wars. We may add them next year because USAC may not be there because the guy doing USAC may be doing DB Drag instead. But I will be, even if I move to Wichita, I will be flying back to do Autorama in the foreseeable future. That's a show that I personally very invested in, been building it for years, and I've done it 22 years or something. So yeah, that's why I'll be there. Steve's show, I would love to see that thing around here 20 years from now. That's why I was asking if it could outgrow the Crossfire parking lot.
Yeah, it will.
Okay,
it will.
That's awesome. Jeffrey knows we used to do the Forbidden Fantasy show, and we would do that at Paris Fairgrounds out where he used to live, and we literally outgrew that. And so then we started doing a Vegas, casino in Laughlin, which is just south of Vegas by an hour and a half or something. And then they grew so big in Laughlin at the casino that they had to stop having the DB Drag there because there was no room to put them because it grew that big. So,
like each one of these organizations has a unique following. The loyal following, not unique, a loyal following. And when I went to Base Wars and competed with them in Oklahoma one year, they had a huge following.
Oh, okay.
And like I said, I just want to bring people, and spectators.
Yep.
Because the spectators end up becoming competitors. So that's what I'm looking forward to. That's what I want.
Rosa says maybe next year she can make it out there. And if they say they might come, those two just might come.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping to do more traveling myself. That's why I was asking about the Autorama event with the RV parking and stuff like that. Because if I do something like that, I'd trailer the Blazer out and just have a place to stay there.
Yep.
So I'm looking to do more shows out of Texas.
We had an RV there this weekend, right?
Yeah.
So Scott Lankus had parked his RV there the whole weekend.
And I think 2 cars there, right? The truck and then the Saturn he had.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
but that's what one of my goals is to do more traveling, get the Blazer out there, get it around, the country, and just go for that points jacket.
The points jacket.
You saw us give out Rosa's one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was totally shocked by that. That was cool. Moses and I have been planning that since World Finals last year.
Yeah, well, like I said, I unless I'm in a points race, I won't compete at my show. I'm going to leave that for the other competitors. I know what I did with the Blazer. It's been a lot of fun. I'm going to give a lot of demos, hopefully. The actual setup is not in it yet, but it will be basing. So Jeffrey knows what I'm waiting on and what I'm trying to do. And then with this show coming up, if some of that had to get put on hold to be able to fund the show that we have now. So yeah, but it's no big deal. I'd rather do that than the Blazer will be there though. The Blazer's definitely gonna be there.
Speaking of Moses, he just popped into the chat. There's a what's up, Moses? So, all right. Well, we need to wrap it up because we only got 10 minutes left, and that seems to be about the time frame it takes us to wrap up a show nowadays.
Pretty much.
But
that's usually when everything comes out is the last 10 minutes, and then it stretches on another.
I try not to. Minutes. I really, really do. I can't be late to bowling. It costs me money when I'm late.
You can make it up next weekend.
I do okay doing that. Just saying. Anyway, Jeff, you want to hit him with the question?
Yeah. All right, Steve. You've watched the show a few times, so you know this question. Again, it's a question we ask all of our guests. Steve, we want to know, what is your definition of a basehead?
My definition of a basehead is just somebody that has passion for the base itself. Not necessarily, you don't even have to own a vehicle. I see parents walking their kids around with the headphones on, just excited to get in somebody's car. That's a basehead. Future baseheads now, baseheads back in the day, just being excited to sit and feel it. That's basically what it is the feeling of it. You can be deaf, but you can feel it.
We used to have one of those here in Reno, or in Northern California.
Yeah, well, that's my definition. Like I said, you don't even have to own a vehicle to love it. So, as long as you have the love for it, that's all you need.
I would have to agree.
What was that?
I would have to agree with your definition.
Yeah, pretty good. Like I said, you don't have to. Just because you don't own a vehicle, does that not make you a basehead? No. Just love for it.
Yep. Yeah, before I had a vehicle, I used to sit in my room and talk about how I'm going to put this many speakers, and I'm going to build a box that fits this. This was before I knew what a wall was or ohm loads or anything, And so, yeah.
But that's how you start.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
That's how you start.
Absolutely.
Why am I louder going from a 4 ohm to a 2 ohm? I never knew nothing like that. The size of the
but you know what?
The same.
You are right though. It doesn't really have to be correlated, because I can recall times watching a movie in the movie theater, and then the bass would hit, or there would be like this really cool action scene going on, and you can just hear the bass coming, and it's like, wow, that's to be able to feel it. Yeah, I didn't have a car back then, so you're absolutely right now. You don't need to have a car.
It's like that one company that used to do that bass shaker that you put under your seat.
Oh,
it wasn't even a speaker; it just shook.
We're having him on again next week.
There
we go.
So yes. All right, Moses says real quick, thank you for the awesome jacket. Jeffrey, want to thank you for staying late and chilling with Rosa and I on Saturday. I would have loved to hang out with you guys, but my son and my help were not down with that. They were ready to go home. Yeah, no, they were ready to go home. I would have absolutely hung out with you guys. I enjoy that. Obviously, breaking bread with everybody is part of what we do as competitors and whatnot.
Usually, the after shows are the good ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't be wrong.
That's a great feeling. It's like we've said before. In the pits, everybody's laughing, cutting up. We're all brothers. Mm-hmm. But as soon as you get on the meter and in the lanes, it's like each their own. And then when you're done, you go back to the pits and you're all having fun and cutting it up and laughing and saying, "Oh, I wish I should have done this instead of that," and whatever. I'll see you back up there. We're getting back up there.
Or even you come back and go, "Oh crap, my RCA's went out." That guy that just beat you, he'll hand you the RCA's right out of his car.
Exactly. And I like being the same way too. I mean, I've told teammates, I've got spare gear in my garage. You need it? Let's do it.
Yeah.
There's no excuses. I'm giving you no excuses.
Yeah.
So let's have fun. Let's enjoy ourselves.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that's another thing, like you said, the after parties and whatnot. That's part of why we have like Autorama and why the memorial shows and all this stuff is for those moments. It
Right.
it it not the competing's part of it. Don't get me wrong, but it's more those moments that you remember above everything else. And the
Heck,
competing just brings us to that point.
we're still talking about the after party at the 22 finals.
See?
You know, that was a
Whoa.
blast, dude. And to see Jeffrey cut loose like
So
that.
fun. So fun.
I think Jeffrey thinks it was so fun.
Uh, I there's a video circulating, so I'm pretty sure I did have a lot of fun that night.
Yeah, but
All
that
right.
those are the stories and the memories I like. That's what I want. You know, the
Yep.
release of the pressure of being in the lanes, being able to go out and have a drink with your competitors and
Hmm.
just cut it up. You know,
Yep.
have, just relax.
Um, all right. So, what do you want people to know about you, your show, all that stuff, real quick, and then we'll do the closing
Just
out.
me. I just want people to come out and have fun, enjoy themselves. If there's an issue, come get me. You know, I'm probably going to be walking around. I'm probably uh-oh. What? I'm probably going to be walking around passing out tickets. I got one of
There's
my
base
grandbabies
head,
with me.
base head in the making
Ah,
right there.
Yeah, yeah.
yes,
But I
future
mean, you know,
basis.
I just want everybody to come out and have fun.
Yeah.
You know, some things didn't work out the way I wanted them to last year, but usually the first one, usually the first one's the test. So hopefully I can turn this into, like you, Doug, the Autorama.
Yeah.
Maybe I can get it to grow so big in 20 years from now, you know, somebody else takes it. My grandbabies take over for me. You know, who
That'd
knows?
be awesome.
Yeah.
Um,
So
Rosa says, funny how Jeffrey is usually involved in these memorable after parties.
They're
don't
fun.
let the calm, cool demeanor fool you. That's an animal right there.
Yeah, him and my son had a good conversation too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
we
But
had a few conversations.
yeah.
as far as me personally, I love this stuff, and
Mhm.
it's not so much the for me. What lights my fire is the wiring on these installs.
Uh-huh.
That really gets my blood pumping as far as the wire routing, how the setup is. If I see a spaghetti bowl back there, I just tend to look at it and go, okay, you know, because it's an investment.
Oh, it
You know,
is.
it's an investment, and
That's true.
you know, you don't have to make it look like, you know, something that costs super extraordinary like a Bobby Gately install, but presentable. You
Yep.
know, people look at this stuff, you know, and if they say, if that's how you do your installs, probably don't want you touching my stuff, you know. So
Not
uh,
wrong.
I did a little installing with Texas Audio, a local stereo shop to me. But like I said, I've always had a passion for that, just wiring in general, not necessarily car stereos, but fixing automobiles. I love working on motorcycles,
Mm.
just any and everything. I mean, just I enjoy it. You know,
Mhm.
like I said, when I joined the Marine Corps, I went in for electrical engineering.
Oh, okay.
So people look at me just because I don't say what I know, because I'm not out to give my resume to everybody. I don't need to. But if you need my help with something, I'm right there with you. I love troubleshooting. I love trying to find a problem and fixing it.
Yeah,
So,
you actually helped bring Eric Hansen's vehicle back to life at finals
yeah,
when it was involved in that accident. You were there with a what like strap and tied it to the back of Alan's car and pulling out the dent and straightening the frame and all that.
yeah,
So we've seen you in
yeah,
action.
we wanted to get him going, you know, and then he had
Yeah.
a problem with his
Mm,
RCA's, couldn't figure
that's
out
right.
tracking them down. I jumped in with a
You
multimeter,
helped them with
traced it
that.
down, got it all fixed
Yeah.
up, and look at the results. I mean, like I said, just because we're enemies in the lanes doesn't mean we're enemies in the pits. I mean,
That's
it
right.
is what it is. It's just
Right.
facts. I mean, every
Right. Yeah.
competitor's the same, and I
Yep.
love competing. I'll throw stones to say I can throw further than you. So I love competing.
All right, Jeffrey, what do you got for us? Caught you under
I
drink.
mean,
Yeah,
I think Steve basically said everything that you to be said about the show going on May 18th. So
Okay.
that's exactly what I would have said. Steve said it.
All right. And then for me, we have a show this coming weekend, Saturday morning at 10 a.m. at Jay's Alarms. It's been a long time since we've done a Saturday morning show with Jay, but we're going to be doing his shows Saturday mornings this year. So we got this Saturday. And then next week we're in Reno on Saturday. Sunday's the Nyman thing. So if you guys want, please be part of all that stuff. And once again, if you guys are going to an event, invite 5 people. If one person shows up, everybody that competes, if they bring one person, every show we double.
Doubles.
We double automatically.
Not even just in spectating, but
yeah,
like I said, they are like, dude, I don't need to buy $1 million worth of equipment. I can throw something small and be competitive with these guys. And that's what I'm trying to bring, what I want people to see. And one of my things as far as a bass head growing up and competing was you don't need so much to be loud. Because back in the day, I started off with 4 Hollywood excursions on an Autotech 66 Mean Machine.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey, Moses put it right there. He goes, she, I think other word letters. And then he goes, I invite everyone. And he ain't lying. Dude, he'll invite somebody and go, look, come to the show. I'll even pay for your entry. So, I mean, that's how much he is into inviting people. And that's why when I talked to him about becoming a judge, I sat back and thought about it. I go, you know what? He is better served as a competitor, and his passion on that side is so much better serving the community than on the judging side.
Yeah, and that's what I try to do too. Hey, man, this is my setup in my car. You going to compete today? No. Why not? Why aren't you going to compete? Well, I got you. Don't worry about it. I got you. So, I mean, that's the main thing I want is people to come out, and I try not to give people excuses.
Yep.
Why can't you come out? I can't afford gas. I'll wire you some money.
Yep. Mo's same thing. Yep.
Come to the show. It doesn't matter. Come hang out, you know?
We need people like you and Moses to do stuff like that. The passion is there, and it's infectious. People will see your passion, see the passion of the people around you, realize that it's more of a community, and they will want to be part of the passion.
And the other thing is everybody's asking, hey, man, when's the next show? When's the next show? Yep. I don't know. Let's stop talking about it. Let's get our resources together and put on a show.
There you go.
Instead of waiting, you know? So, I mean, I love this stuff. I love it. It's therapy. Like I said, it's more than just competing and being out there with everyone else, being able to talk, being able to hang around people, laugh, cut up, get in the lanes and see bass racing and Top Dog, where somebody gets so close and then breaks out and the whole crowd's going, ooh, and they don't do that with regular competing, SPL. Right. So that's another reason why I'm going back to the demo classes, Top Dog bass race. I'm tired of talking, sitting on the sidelines. Let's get after it.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, that's it for the show tonight. I appreciate you tuning in. Steve.
No, we're going to keep you on here. You're not going bowling.
I got to go bowling. This is money night. This is literally money night tonight. So this is the last day of the year for bowling for this league. So we give out money tonight. So all the money's got to go away, and I really want it to go in my pocket. That's all I'm saying. I don't need the money. I just want to have it. Just like you said, I'll compete against you in throwing stones. I don't care. But yes, I do have to get the bowling. I appreciate you guys. Once again, I'd like to thank our sponsors, Voodoo Customs, E-Box, Crossfire Car Audio, and our new sponsor, Bass, B-A-S-S, Badass Sounds by Steve. Man in the picture right there. It's bass. It's bass.
Bass.
It's bass. That's what I was catching earlier. Bass. No.
If I can make more words out of bass head, it would be bass head.
All right. So once again, thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate you guys being here. We will catch you guys next week on This Week in Car Audio. 5:30 California time, the only time that matters. All right. Peace. We out.